Hi everyone, I'm Ruel. I'm the founder of Cropital. Yun, I graduated from UP, not Ateneo. Kapitbahay. So, Cropital, we are a platform for smallholder farmers. We started initially with financing. So, we have a crowdfunding platform enabling our smallholder rice farmers to access affordable financing. Quite recently also, we've engaged in e-commerce na din for our rice farmers. So, we're helping them on both sides. So for me, any business opportunity that is being explored could be considered as a startup. For me, it's really more personal na parang it just aligned the things that I want personally, exploring creativity side of myself, doing things. And I really like building things kasi and seeing things come through. And there's also a big part of me that's really wanting on the community impact side na I really love working in communities. Kaya parang for me, it's quite hard to find a really perfect job that I could feel na those things are in it. It just so happened that the opportunity came in na I could start something that I have control. And yun, I really liked it. So that's why I continued doing it. There's a lot of rewarding things kasi. Being in a social enterprise space, parang the impact that you do, thank yous that you receive, and parang the results that you are seeing. Pero for me, yung most rewarding would be pagdating dun sa job creation. Every time I create one new role or we hire one new employee, parang for me, it's really rewarding. I mean, iba yung feeling. Nadadagdagan yung people, and especially, there would come a time na a-attend ka na ng mga binyag nila, ng mga kasal nila, nagkakaanak na sila, ganyan. So parang it's really rewarding to see those. And it's nice also when you know na parang what their dreams are personally, and especially if their values aligned with the organization. And parang it's rewarding when unti-unti you get to help each other reach each other's potential and dreams as well. Personally, yung connection ko din with the sector kasi yun, may farm din kami. Grandparents are small farmers as well. And it's really the exposure. Growing up, it just so happened also that the idea worked. It's one way to find a community, ganyan, and find the right idea that would fit and work. For us, it's really focused on the farmers and how are we impacting their lives. And if we will look at the value chain as well, so we've started with financing, slowly solving that problem for some of the farmers. Now we're engaging dun sa dulong part naman, which is market, which is another part of the problem in the value chain. The long-term vision for me, it's really engaging and making sure that we are able to provide, parang the farmers have access to the right needs that they have. And through technology, you are able to utilize yung economies of scale as well. If we look at the Philippine agri, it's very fragmented. Parang with the agri-agra law, it's almost impossible to do consolidated farming. It's really very hard to attain economies of scale. Bibili ka ng nakarepack na seeds, it would be way more expensive than a bulk, essentially. But we're thinking also is that, is there a way that parang even though everyone's fragmented, if they avail the same service in the same channel, we are able to create economies of scale and share basically the efficiencies and the cost reduced across all those part of the ecosystem. I think kasi it's really a long journey for everyone. And I think one of the key things kasi is being mentally prepared for what's happening, what would happen, what could happen. The ones that really reach the news are the ones that parang they're more exception than the rule. Na parang, oy, naka-raise ng fund, in 2 years, ganito na sila kalaki, this and that. Ganyan. Parang, those are kind of yun nga, sinasabi nila parang mas mythical creature siya. So if we would peg yung belief natin na it's very rare and um, parang it's very rare but you have that chance to be that person, parang you can leverage on that hope but don't rely na it would be easy. Na parang you can leverage na you can be that part of the 0.01%. Yes, parang that's part of the benefits of having a startup. Pero at the same time, think about na parang are you ready to really fight your way towards that spot? Kasi it's very rare that a person would be able to reach that point. So it takes a lot of mental preparation in order to actually go through all the challenges. So, pero on the side naman of when you're doing the startup na or at least starting doing pilots, exploring, starting interviews, yan. The way I understood it, there's really cycles na parang there are times na you'll be nasa taas and there are times talaga that you'll be down or below. Make sure lang na you really make the most out of every peaks or out of every high moments. And make sure to endure and learn as much in every low moments. Kasi parang ano lang siya parang you won't reach the same low if you've learned enough na on that low. Pero there's too many problems na ma-experience but you just need to keep going. Siguro looking back, I think it's really part of the process yung making mistakes, failing, and really experiencing the hardships of everything. You will really have to go through it. Pero one thing that I think everyone should learn as fast as they can, especially when they're young, is assessing or parang how to find the right people you can learn from, work with, take advice from, ganyan. You need to be very selective, pero parang it's really it's a skill that you need to learn fast. Kasi it involves hiring eventually. Na parang how can you identify the right people to hire? How can you identify the right mentors to get? How can you identify this and that? You will not get it right the first time, pero it takes time. Pero just try to learn as much as you can in that aspect. If you know how to pinpoint the right person and you know how to make sure or parang at least the range of affordability that you have, whether an employee or it could be free if it's a mentor, ganyan. Pero yeah, you need to understand how to do that properly as fast as you can. Definitely you need to understand first what's the process like. Or you need to understand the sequence na you need to have the right product first or the right product market fit before you have the right process in place, before you figure out who's the right people that you need. It's really a sequence. Hindi siya yung parang building the team right the first time. Parang it's not really that feasible kasi you're in business development stage, you still don't know what the market wants. How can you find the right people if you don't even know what's the right product to begin with? And if you have the right product, what's the right process in implementing the product? So it's really a step process of you understanding that there are really key priorities na you need to hurdle, like business development. Then who are the people that you need to make sure that you reach product market fit as early as possible? Then you put them in place. Then you know that the next stage, some of them might not be needed anymore. Some of them might change role, ganyan. Pero you need to understand na it's dynamic. Yung right team right now will not be the right team the following phase, basically. So you need to be aware and conscious of those. It's good to expose yourself as early as possible sa industry or parang sa sector that you'll enjoy or you're willing to spend the rest of your life with, basically. Na parang start exploring, start understanding whether you really like it or not. Ganyan. And no pressure naman na, pero start exploring. Then, there are key skills that you need to have if you want to start on your own. And there are also key na skills that you need if you just want to be part of a team, basically. Pero for those na, I can only speak dun sa start your own na part. Na parang if you want to start something your own, very important yung leadership na skill. So engage yourself with projects or parang extracurricular activities, creating, yun, developing yung mga events or parang yung mga ganong aspects kasi you will really learn a lot from that. And it's nice also to do side, parang eto, another important thing, you need to know how to do business first before you do startup. Learn revenue, expenses, profit. And try to do simple businesses first or try to do engagements, ganyan. Kasi you need to earn money to become a business entity, basically. And from there, you will really learn how, yun, yung rejections you'll experience. Pero from rejections, you'll understand more about the customers, how you will sell. Yan, the skill of selling is very important also. So, yun. Siguro if there's one thing na kasi ang dami eh. Parang there's a lot that you would want. Pero siguro I'll relate it with fear of, well, medyo related siya sa getting rejection, ganyan. Na parang yung pagiging makapal din yung mukha in an a way. Kasi parang I think there's a lot of negative notions with pagiging makapal yung mukha. Na parang the term itself parang it sounds negative. But honestly, it's a very useful thing na parang you can go through a lot of things by yun face value na parang ano parang lakas ng loob basically, parang as a young individual you need to have that as early as possible and don't find it na negative. Parang being makapal ang mukha is not a negative trait. It is actually something that you could use for your advantage. So parang I think that's something that I would have learned as early as possible also.